adaptation and all. और ये वजह है कि हम यहाँ जनाब एक इस तरह का और प्रोजेक्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का लाना चाह रहे हैं में कि जो हमारे बाकी रिमेनिंग मेट्रोस और उनको प्रोटेक्ट कर सके. वी आर सीकिंग सम फंडिंग फ्रॉम environmental donations from different international organizations, and hopefully Economic Affairs Division is the last in that. So it shows that we at Maritime Affairs, we at the Karachi Port Trust or Port Qasim are fully aware. Whether we have started doing something to mitigate, yes, we have. That's why we are sitting here. Are we conscious? Are we aware of the realities of today? और हमारे जो कैश फ्लोज के इश्यूज हैं वो भी, और ये कितने प्रोजेक्ट्स लेंगे, सारी की सारी कॉस्ट लेंगे. हाँ जी, हम बिल्कुल आगाह हैं अपने जो हमारी बैलेंस शीट्स हैं उनसे भी बहुत. उनको कैसे हमने बेहतर करना है, दैट इज अनदर पार्ट ऑफ द स्टोरी, कि उसकी हमने अपनी कोर ऑपरेशन को कैसे एनहांस करना है और क्या कुछ करेंगे वो हम करके दिखाएंगे. एक साल में वी आर गिविंग अ कमिटमेंट कि हम कराची पोर्ट ट्रस्ट की प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी को एटलीस्ट दोगुना कर देंगे विदाउट हर्टिंग द एनवायरनमेंट, रादर इन्वेस्टिंग इनटू द एनवायरनमेंट. एंड दैट्स व्हाई मैं आज के इस इवेंट के तवस्सुत से, इस राउंड टेबल के तवस्सुत से, और क्योंकि मुशर्रफ वाज सीकिंग प्लेजेस, तो मैं ये प्लेज देता हूँ कि जो कुछ हम कर रहे हैं वो कर रहे हैं, लेकिन ओशन क्लीनर्स के साथ इस प्रोजेक्ट में if there's a financial commitment is needed, then the Karachi Port Trust will also be chipping in here. So this is my commitment, this is our word, and this is our resolve. Thank you very much.
वफाकी वज़ीर बहरी अमूर फैसल सवारी मीडिया से गुफ्तगू कर रहे थे. उनका कहना था कि हमने मेहनत से अपना काम कर रहे हैं और इस बार हम जो है पोर्ट के जो प्रॉफिट है उसको हम दोगुना करेंगे, ये हमारी कमिटमेंट है.
बहुत बात करनी होगी क्योंकि हमारा ये पूरा फंक्शन जो है बाहर के दोस्तों के साथ हो रहा है और उसमें हमें इनकी हर अंडरस्टैंडिंग की ज़रूरत है और हर कोऑपरेशन की जी शराकतदारी बहुत ज़रूरी है. तो सबका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया. मैरिटाइम मिनिस्टर ने हमारी अभी यहाँ बात की है. सबसे पहले तो मैं उनका शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहती हूँ KPT का कि हमारे इतने खुले दिल से होस्टिंग की, और ऑल्सो मेरे दोस्त सब्जवारी साहब का कि इन्होंने इसकी ओनरशिप भी ली है. जितने स्टेक होल्डर्स ओनरशिप लेंगे जी उतना ही ये कामयाब होगा. एज मैनी पीपल ऑन द टेबल एंड ऑफ द टेबल टेक पार्टनरशिप इन दिस, it will determine how this succeeds. Nothing that is related to climate change is ever done by one person. It requires teams, it requires stakeholders, and it requires civil society as well as the corporate sector that is here. The government is sitting right here and we are fully committed. In fact, we are very excited about it, as you can see from both of us. So I do want to take the opportunity to thank, of course, Coca-Cola for responding so quickly at a cold climate where you think nothing happens. But I was speaking at a very small informal group on plastics and waste management and how the world is not taking it seriously enough. अब आपको पता है कि when Michael Guzman actually approached me himself, he said, what would you like us to do? I said, well, I'd love for you to reach out and see which part you can contribute. And then Aisha and Fahad brought this proposal, which was to us like extremely, I think long overdue, not just the need of the hour, but long overdue, as we all know. इश्यूज़ तो यहाँ कैपेसिटी के भी हैं. गवर्नमेंट्स अकेले इस वक्त दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा इस वक्त सैलाब आया हुआ है पाकिस्तान में. लेट मी नॉट स्पीक इन अ वैक्यूम. दैट इज़ माई फ्रंट लाइन नेशनल इमरजेंसी राइट नाउ. ऑफ कोर्स देयर इज़ अ डिज़ास्टर मैनेजमेंट पार्ट टू इट, बट डिज़ास्टर्स बाद में मैनेज होते हैं. उनकी शुरू में इस तरह देखभाल करनी उनकी हम रोक नहीं सकते. Let me be very clear. The flooding, the global warming, the whole bit, the climate change cannot be stopped by Pakistan. Let's make no mistake. But we can certainly adapt to the crises better. We can certainly plan for our river pathways to flow better, not be clogged, and all of that. So there is a development component to, of course, how we manage our resources. हम जिस तरह अपने वसाइल और ये हमारे वसाइल हैं, how we manage them. But I want to state very clearly, because to me climate communications, every opportunity is important, because there are powerful voices in the room और मीडिया का तवस्सुत हमारे लिए बिल्कुल नागुज़ीर है. इसके बगैर हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते. तो आप लोग प्लीज़ ये कन्वे करें कि जितना भी हम पूरा पाकिस्तान कल ग्रीन हो जाए, 100% एफॉरेस्टेशन हो जाए, 100% रिन्यूएबल हो जाए. Make no mistake, that will not impact global warming or the weather cycles that have created this monster of a monsoon. No country, no city in Pakistan has seen 1700 millimeters of rain come down in one day, which a little city near Nowshera Feroz saw. It's called Padidan. लोगों को तो इसका नाम भी नहीं पता था. Karachi then saw, and you are in Karachi, 1100 millimeters. Again, not seen in living memory. So the flood this time, the tsunami came from the sky. Normally it comes from the river. Now, of course, the river is stemming again, rising. It's been rising in the north, like it always does. We've seen the 2010 flood. उससे हमें सबक सीखने चाहिए थे कि किस तरह हम river beds को free रखें. ठीक है, ये आज के लिए बहुत अहम बात है. How the river beds are kept free for the water to drain. For instance, in Swat, you saw, everybody saw those hotels collapse. They were built on the riverbed. This has happened everywhere. Pakistan, at least in the south, Balochistan and Sindh are flat. Most of Sindh is completely flat. So the water is standing. Now it is standing everywhere, especially in outside Karachi. If you go up north, you'll see just a veritable ocean. Now the Indus highway is also covered. We have no dry ground to make tents, place tents. That is the real emergency, to feed 33 million plus people. That's the real emergency right now. And I took a flight out to address this, because these are the adaptation actions we can take. So it's crucial to invest in opportunities like this. If the private sector is willing to do the heavy lift, which Nestle, Anglo, Coke, all of you, Unilever, are willing to do, and companies like Seed, who've done the study, always appreciate those who study. And others around the table, of course, the Navy, Rear Admiral Iqbal, आपका बहुत शुक्रिया कि आपने अपना यहाँ ना सिर्फ टाइम दिया, लेकिन what's important is the dollars and cents will come once a project takes off. But I do want to thank finally the ocean cleanup team, who have made their way here to one of their biggest challenges. Martin Vertes and Arif Alvi, you and your team will be facing one of your biggest challenges, and thank you for taking it on. Because let me also share that the Liari River was not a natural river, it was a drain initially. And then since the rain never came through, Pakistan went through a very long period of no monsoons. When I was a little girl, which was a very long time ago, we used to have monsoons. And monsoons were never like this, people. They were 2 days of heavy rain, maybe 1 week after, cycles that had gaps. The entire South Asia has developed a repository, a repertoire of romantic poetry around the monsoon. It's called the Sawan, as any Urdu speaker will tell you. तो सावन फुआर मेहा बरसी, ये कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं था. ये ना सावन थी, ना मेहा थी, ना फुआर थी. इसके बारे में सिवाय डिजास्टर गाना कुछ नहीं बन सकता. कि the nation should unite and stand up, because this is a crisis from the skies. It is not natural. It is entirely man-made. It is of course anthropogenic, but it is not made by Pakistan. This is one crisis we did not create. Our glaciers are melting. This year, 3 times glacial melt. That was the first episode. We had 4 heat waves, one after another. Our temperature crossed 53 degrees. For the 3rd year running, we are the hottest place on the planet. 53 degrees is not for human habitation. It is not. Then came the forest fires, wiping out much of 17,000 hectares just in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, right? So all this was happening, and when I came to this ministry, the first presentation I asked the ministry to look at was plastics, because that's just there. And of course, I banned the use of plastics in at least my ministry, and I will go to government further. I said this climate ministry can't have any plastic in the room. Even if it's PET, it's a bad message, and we need. So it's a little bit of work. घर में और दफ्तर में जो हम आपसे कह रहे हैं, दुनिया से कह रहे हैं करने को, पहले हमें खुद ना walk the talk, right? Now, ocean cleanup is a big task, because, and I was talking about this at Davos also, because by 2050 there will be more fish, there will be more plastics in the ocean than fish. This is a known fact. It's charted, it's documented, and I believe that may happen before 2050. 2050 से पहले या तक आपके सारे ओशन, सिर्फ पाकिस्तान के नहीं, में मछली से और आबी हयात से ज़्यादा प्लास्टिक्स होगा, वेस्ट होगा, टॉक्सिन्स होंगे. तो ये हमें बहुत सीरियसली लेना है. एवरी कंट्री हैज़ टू, बिकॉज ओशंस फ्लो इनटू ओशंस, बट ये हमारा अहाता है, ये हमारी लिटरल्स एंड पेरिफेरीज हैं, एंड कोर वैल्यूज़ हैं. The Indus is the main artery of Pakistan. It supports 80 to 90% of livelihoods, and it is responsible for our food security. Right now, Sindh mein we've lost 90% of Sindh's crop, which means half the country's bread basket is gone. For this year, for the Rabi season, it's just gone. The livelihoods that support it, and Afia was in the river doing a completely daredevil exercise, but an important one for telling the story of how the Indus was running dry. अब पूरे साल कोटरी से साउथ ये दरिया बिल्कुल मतलब सहरा बना होता है. अगेन मेरी नौजवानी में हम इसलिए मैंने हैदराबाद एट वन पॉइंट जाते थे तो इतने ठाटे मारता था ये दरिया कि मतलब थोड़ा सा डर लगता था क्रॉस करते हुए कोटरी बराज को. बट नाउ लुक एट इट. सो राइट आफ्टर दिस, mark my words, you will have desertification and drought again. Am I right, Afia? You will, once this water has gone. So the business of detoxifying our river, of restoring the marine, there's a ecological biodiversity to this river. It supports some rare marine life, such as the Indus dolphin, which is found nowhere in the world. This is the habitat to a rich ecosystem of marine life. Palla machli ke alawa aur bhi gham hai, but palla machli is one of them. It used to be this big, it's now this, and rarely found now. So, other than the marine life, the mangroves we speak about, the natural barriers against flooding, even from the sea, are those mangroves, are how the delta bleeds into the ocean. And for at least 20-30 years, there's been no water coming down from the north, despite our flooding. The super flood of 2010, as you know, was much smaller than this. 20 million were affected, 33 million are affected today. 1/3 of Pakistan is underwater as we speak. So how we manage our rivers is crucial. And in this enterprise, the mega city of Karachi, and it's a mega city, and its drains, its internal rivers, natural or otherwise, now need help. They are on ventilators. And your team, ocean cleanup, we again, हम आपका बहुत शुक्रिया अदा करते हैं. शुक्रिया is thank you to come here and pick up this challenge, because this will help us in restoring our poisoned food chain also. This is crucial. and it will restore the health of one critical part of our river. And it is the majority is plastics. I agree with you, Aisha, but Shahid is also right that industries have been dumping.
वफाकी वज़ीर मौसमियाती तब्दीली शैरी रहमान न्यूज़ कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रही थी। उन्होंने कहा कि सिंध में बारिशों और सैलाब की वजह से फसलें शदीद मुतासर हुईं। उन्होंने कहा कि ये जो सैलाब आया है ये कुदरती सैलाब नहीं है बल्कि ये मैन मेड है और इसको बनाने में जो है इंसान का, हमारा पाकिस्तान का कोई किरदार नहीं बल्कि ये मौसमियाती तब्दीली के असरात हैं जिनमें पाकिस्तान का कोई कसूर नहीं।